up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Sharee.
And I'm the co-host, Eric Seats.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
I
it.
like
I
that.
love it. So, you know what? Right now, we just chopping it up. You know why? Because it's been a minute. We have had, you know how many features we've had? Well, first of all, I was going to do something because we had our 25th episode like 2 episodes ago. And I was like, dang, we should have did something like, 25, but that's all right. We're gonna hit up at 50 or maybe sooner. Anyway, I was
Mhm.
like, we should just chop it up because we haven't done that in a minute.
I agree. I agree. And I'm whatever you want to happen will happen. That we can do that. We have that leverage. But yeah, it's been a good time. That went by fast. I
It
don't
did.
always really look back at all of them, but nice. One day when it's 150, then I'll look back probably. But we just keep going.
You said when it's 150.
It's going to be that soon if we
Uh,
keep this up. I mean, really,
that's
let the
true.
documentary happen. We'll let you sound a lot better. So whatever you just did, let
You
that
know
be.
what? Because I just realized, you know what? Did I ever tell you? Look, this is a story right here. Somebody can hear this story. I love to tell this story. First of all, if you know me, Seats, I love to like try new things, right? So at my church, I didn't want to be on the worship team. I didn't want to be out front. I didn't want to be seen. That's like the space I was in. I just wanted to be like, you know what I mean? Nobody see me, nobody know me. So I joined up for the production team. They were all black. They're like the little people that in the background, like doing their stuff. And I was like, you know what? I want to learn sound. Now this soundboard was monstrous. It was like German or like some crazy name. And I was trying to learn the sound and it was real tricky. Like my mind just, I don't know, it doesn't really work that way. But after a while, one of the pastors was like, you've been on sound for a while. It was kind of like behind, like underneath. It was kind of like, "Dang, are you gonna get it?" Like, and I was like, "You know what? I was prepared. Like, if it took me 4 or 5 years to learn sound seats, I had no problem with being there as long as it took to develop that skill."
So you used the term took past tense with an ed on the end of took.
I don't do it anymore.
Why is that?
I got them. I got the message. I got the message. The subliminal message.
Okay, here's what's not. Here's another way too. Because if we don't persevere in our endeavors, so if you really were passionate about that during that time, that's why I don't take surveys. If you notice a lot, I post a lot about not taking surveys, because if I once listened to somebody telling me not to go travel once upon a time with all the different artists that I've accumulated thus far on a thing we're gonna call receipts and resumes. If I had listened to one or two individuals, or 10 even,
Yeah.
the same ones that want a backstage pass now. So here's what I don't even consider anymore, especially at our age.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's what the honesty in this is: everybody learns at a different pace. We knew this is elementary stuff I'm talking right now. It's fundamental. Everybody learns at a different pace, but at the same time, you're experiencing and realizing that I couldn't have done these many shows in my past without these guys being important and making me sound better than the situation sometimes. And so you getting a taste of what it takes to deal with another venue, to deal with another set of equipment, whether it's high end or low end. Something about persevering through. If I'm gonna be a good drummer, I better not blame anything on the drum set that I'm forced to play. Most of the gigs that I've ever had, I'm just now being able to play the kits that I own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna front and act like I didn't come up with endorsements and things like that. And so those privileges were, and so I don't care if they had if they had trash cans up there. Something about what they can see through the obvious,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, dang. But
Dang.
so I would just encourage you to first of all get back into it because you're going to need that skill and that tool. It's called a tool.
Definitely.
And so yeah, go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, okay? Because, like you said, we all learn at different paces, and
Correct.
we all learn and pick up things and absorb in different ways too,
Correct.
right? I think for me, I don't think that was the right environment for me to learn that skill, only because
Hmm.
the pressure and the, I don't want to say lack of patience, because I'm not trying to make anybody sound bad, but it got really stressful because no one really it didn't seem like anybody really had the time to teach.
I wish
Does
I
that
had
make
the
sense?
quote. The quote that comes to mind is and it's regarding teaching. Certain teachers will leave a legacy. Some teachers are just being in the meantime. Some teachers really mean it. And these different things vary, but it's that's a that unfortunately, just because that scenario happened, we can't let that determine
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anything. That
Yeah.
that person called the teacher, that is not the example of what can the possibilities.
Yeah.
And so you find another institution if you need to.
Yep.
Actually, just go on YouTube and find a tutorial or two and get your butt together.
That's true. You
And
I did try to YouTube that sound machine. But it was like I said, I think it was like German or something. And the only at the time, the only video I could find was not even in English.
I bet you that has been corrected since that time.
Yeah. I have to look it out. But it was legit.
My encouragement is at the end of the day, keep going because that's a skill that's what Anita Baker comes to mind, and I grew up loving Anita Baker because she had live instrumentation on her records. There was
Mm-hmm.
actual drummers and bass players and saxophonists and solos and I loved Anita Baker, and so and one of the things that I learned about her later, she's from Detroit. She's she knows her sound. She knows the sound. She's an engineer in her right.
That's
And
dope.
she knows how to tell the sound man. The communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we learn the language, there's different languages that exist with all of our occupations. And when we learn the languages, then there's a mutual respect there. And all of these different alliances, if you will. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like when you can translate what you need done in their world, the appreciation, the care is better. Whether it's
Yeah.
medicine, logistics, creativity. I really feel like religion.
Yeah.
Don't these, when you speak their language, the hugs are better.
Yes. The hugs are better. That's so true, because you know what? I mean, you I don't know if we've talked about this before, but there are different languages, you know what I mean? Like even you came, even when I was, doing the whole band thing, down at the warehouse. It's like, to get what you want to in terms of maximizing the talent in the band and the capacity to vibe and do whatever you want to do. It's like you have to be able to speak their language. And even though I'm a singer, right? It's like sometimes if you're a singer and you don't play an instrument, there is a little bit of a language barrier. If you understand what I'm saying, and somebody listening will understand what I'm saying. But somebody like, what? That would make no sense, but it makes sense.
I do, and here's a perfect example. When you're in a jam session scenario, and let's just say it's an open mic event, and the artist comes up, and when that artist, when that artist is able to communicate with the band, put me in C#,
Right, sir. Right.
and
What
and
key?
and that right away is already like, okay, you can't play her, you can't play him.
Yeah.
They know that we can't just do anything up here, and so
Uh-huh.
somebody's gonna be shown what's up right there, right then and there. So that's mutual respect though. So like whatever environment that I'm getting into, because my whole life is just not about music. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever, if I'm delving into other scenarios and different endeavors, I would like to at least somewhat show them that I care about getting into what I'm about to get into, called, the terminology. This is a
Yes.
different terminology that we speak over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Different terminology. Speaking of which, seats, what's the word of the day?
The word of the day is punctual.
Yeah. Okay, punctual.
And I was
Hey.
almost late to an appointment, but I'm glad the receptionist at the establishment was on her game enough to send me a few reminders.
Is that why you
Because
was punctual to this episode? You was
I was an
early. You
you
was like
early
you
tonight. I was
you
an
was
hour
like
early
I'm
tonight.
on, and I was
Sitting under
like
these lights. Because never mind. Anyway,
punctual.
but punctual is a term that supersedes all of these different occupations that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you think you do well. A mutual respect is still punctuality, because everyone's time is valuable. I don't care if you call them valet, catering, makeup, feature.
Right.
It doesn't matter. People's time, everybody's time is valuable, and so stay in your respectful lane and realize that everybody's compartment matters.
Mm-hmm. That phrase you just said means a lot to me. Realizing and recognizing that everybody is valuable. Shoot, I mean that's so important because as you like move in the world, you can kind of tell who values every single person regardless, and who basically doesn't give value to other people because they conduct themselves accordingly. But
Uh,
everybody has value. Everybody breathing and living has value.
and the older we get, the more shameful we should be about certain immaturities. You shouldn't have fine reason to be mad at someone because you're not excelling in the same capacity or anything like that. First of all, there's no comparison. There's no respect of person or anything like that. So do what you do to the best of your ability, and that shows too. That shines as well. That's not a figure. It's not a tax bracket all the time. Character doesn't. We don't associate character with money. So your character can be valuable even if you don't have the means.
Boom.
A lot of us are rich in spirit that don't have that are not in Fortune magazine's top whatever they came up with. That doesn't
Hey,
matter anyway.
that's the best kind of that is true riches right there, rich in spirit. I mean, if you don't have anything in your spirit, what do you have anyway, really?
I am so overprotective of my spirit. That means I don't. I will be a loner if I need to be, because I, it- it's okay not to blend at certain times and periods of your life. You don't always have to belong to something. Space is key as well. Balance is key.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can be busy and then we can be not busy. And understand that not busy doesn't mean that you're not successful. You're just
Mm-mm.
recharging. You're just, it's necessary.
Right. And
It's,
busy in
it's,
one sense because I feel like we're just like water. You know how water appears to be still?
you say that a
But
lot. Yeah.
but water is constantly moving. There is movement in water at all times, even if the water is still. Same
Water can
thing
be
for
loud and
us.
quiet. Water is loud and quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be depths. Um, it's so many facets of that water analogy that you just brought up. That's great. That's a great analogy right there, because it could be anything it needs to be. You've been
Mm-hmm.
around water and didn't even know water was around. That's how quiet it was.
Boom.
And then you've been in raging waters when you're like, wait a minute, I'm fear for my life right now, because there's more water on this thing than land.
There is. I love that we got to water. You know why?
Why?
Because we so there's this wellness overnight retreat that the organization will be doing as a signature event every year. And I do believe this year we're going to be able to make a pilot, like a little test, one day situation happen. And the theme is going to be around water.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be dope.
That's a good.
It's gonna include movement. It's gonna include painting, some different genres of artistry.
Uh-huh.
But I'm excited about that, and I love that we just somehow landed on water because it's more confirmation that that's what it's gonna be.
Speak it. Yeah. And I just thought of when you said, an accumulation of different artistries, I just already revert back to you already know everybody that you need for that. So it has to work.
Has to work. Has to work. So anyway, we've been in a heat wave over here.
Philly is humid.
It's
But,
humid like Philly. Shoot,
just dress appropriately.
that's what it feels like. You
Um,
see, I ain't got no sleeves on.
Philly's I take like 4 showers a day out here.
As soon as I got out the shower today, I was already sweating. I was like,
That
dang.
that happens a lot out here, and I'm like, damn, I ain't even left the house yet, and I feel like I gotta jump back in. That's crazy, but anyway.
And then I had to go to the chiropractor, and it was like,
Mhm.
I had to wear something decent and appropriate for them to get an adjustment. But I'm like, it's too hot. I was
Yeah,
like, let me throw this dress on. And I was like, hey, I got biker shorts on under here. You're fine. Do what you need to do. Hey, but they had this they kind of do a I think they do a word of the day at my chiropractor too. And the word today was I am incredible. I take on life with
that's a phrase of the day.
phrase of the day. True, true. And it says at the bottom, I take on life with extraordinary energy and power.
I wonder how many people really believe that.
Mm.
Not enough.
Nah, because if we believed it, we would move in such a way that it reflects that belief.
We all would feel it,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't feel it enough. We can do better. There's room for growth on all of our behalves.
We can always do better.
Let's do better.
Look at okay, I see you. Now you about to be singing. We gonna switch roles. I'm gonna get my drum on and you gonna get your sing on.
I'm not about to say that's a random. That has to happen randomly.
I don't know, but I tried to drum and sing one time for my girl's birthday because she asked me to, and that was
She tried to make you go viral.
and it was recorded. I was like, take that down.
Behave, y'all, when we're out and about because you will go viral for the wrong reasons today.
Everything is being recorded and monitored for reals.
And I wish we could have fun better because
What you mean?
when you say that but when we do shows and things like that, and the majority of the audience is holding up a phone to capture, and I get the capturing, but back in the day it was more, it wasn't like it is now.
Just
So
be present and in the moment.
Being the term is present. They're not, certain artists I used to hear say, hey, y'all be in the moment with me, put that phone down because it looks like a room full of paparazzi or something like that. It's like y'all not really here for the right reason if you're doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
A clip or two, I don't mind that. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Capturing memories, but not the whole, man. Like, come on, man. You're not really enjoying yourself. You didn't even eat dinner because your phone was focused. Your food got cold because you hear, like, come on, stop. Anyway.
That just made me think of something because, I think I fall into that sometimes. So busy trying to take a picture of something so that I have it to remember the memory. But there's something in that where you actually lose the actual memory itself. Does that make sense?
You know what I think? We know when we buy the ticket, which is usually a few months prior to the event happening. Yeah. We know what our intentions are. We need to check that then. Because if we were going there for the experience organically, you might leave your phone in the car, knowing what you're capable of. But but we get saved and you'd be like, and
All right. Well, we ain't gonna belabor our little catch up. I just wanted us to, talk shop.
I like when we do this. Come on.
We're gonna keep doing it from time to time, occasionally. So stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready.
That's why, man. Come on.
We're gonna have to do one in person. We're gonna do an in-person episode one of these days in the future.
Well, we have these tour dates are coming back in, so I'll be in your hood very soon.
Word.
So just
Okay.
show up when I give you the show up. Just show up.
Just show up.
Yeah.
I had to change my lights to match yours because I noticed how yours was popping and changing.
I just, we changed it up a little bit around.
Yeah, so mine isn't. You can't see mine as bright as yours, but it's happening. Anyway, all right, Seats. Well, we'll wrap up.
Yeah,
This will be the conclusion of our catch-up episode.
for sure.
So, for those of y'all that have been listening to us talk shop today, my name is Melissa Sharee, and you've been listening to For the Artist, which is a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects, and I'm with.
That's right, and I'm your co-host Eric Seats, and Creative M Projects is a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, and we would love if you felt any energy coming from this podcast to donate and further support this endeavor, and you could do such a thing at
creativemprojects.org. Y'all want me to spell that? Creative, CREATIVEM projects. Put that S at the end, PROJECTS. .org. So yes, y'all, if you are feel so inclined, give, because we are out here helping artists find their way.
That's right.
All right, y'all, till next episode, keep creating from the inside out. Peace.
I'm gonna start doing the gestures while you say it.
I like